Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this morning with another edition of Stout Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday for anybody out there that's keeping track. So I guess you could call this a special edition if you want. Today we are joined by a very great panel. We have Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn, New York.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michael. We have Robert the Whiskey Scout. Great state of Kansas. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning.
We've got Shane Fudge back with us today from the other Kansas, Arkansas. And then we have Ronald J. Terrio of Louisiana Beer Reviews. Great state of Louisiana. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And we'll go ahead and get right into it. So, Michael Kormaroff, what are you drinking this morning?
This is from Asheville, North Carolina, from Highland Brewing, and it is called Midnight Summit. It's a vanilla milk stout with lactose and natural flavors at 6% alcohol. It does not list the IBUs. But the company started in 1994, and they're saying that they're independently owned and family operated.
Now, Highland Brewing is popular here. We get a lot of their beers. Is this the first Highland Brewing beer that you?
Yes, this is the first one I've ever tried. I got this from my nephew on my way back from Florida. We stopped there for a couple of days, and he gave me a bunch of stuff. This was one of the cans he gave me, and I'm looking forward to trying it. Asheville has been listed at various spots in its, terms of being a brewing city with all the breweries around it. And it's as high as 2 or 3 in the country as far as brewing locations. Again, it's all statistically set up where I guess they do percentages of how many breweries you have in the local area. So what happened to Shane?
I think he had some technical difficulties. He was getting some feedback. He should be back in just a second.
Okay. So mine is Midnight Sun from Highland Brewing.
All right.
I'm going to pour it.
All right. Robert the Whiskey Scout, what do you got?
I've got Great Divide out of Denver, Colorado. It's the Mexican Chocolate YETI. It's an Imperial Stout brewed with coffee and spices added. 9.5%, no IBUs. Watched Flacco a couple months ago or 2 months ago, and I've been looking for it, and I finally found 2 cans, and it's very expensive, though. It was $10 for a can here. So. But I bought it.
All right. So, yeah, Shane, I saw your comment there. He's having internet issues, so he'll probably be in and out. We'll just.
Oh, I'm done. Just had to tell my daughter what I'm
doing. Okay, so let's go to Ronald Terrio. What are you drinking this morning?
I think when a company these days says we're independently owned and proud of it, that's code word for we're open to entertaining buyout offers.
Right. Yep.
They're just letting all the acquisition people know that they're not acquired yet. Anyway, that sounds cynical, but it's probably the truth. I have from New Orleans an independently proud company, and they have a number you can call if you'd like to buy them out. This is a castle. You see this castle? That is on US Highway 11. It's a fishing camp that they built to look like a castle, and it's on a waterway called the Irish Bayou. And this is a whiskey barrel aged vanilla almond coffee stout. And it was introduced in 2019. It's on tap currently, but they did can it for a while. It's aged in Jameson casks. It's expensive. It cost me $9.99 for this 500 milliliter can. And it's 10% alcohol. I have no IBU information. And it's brewed in New Orleans.
All right. So let's go ahead and go to Shane. No audio? Okay.
That's too bad.
Well, I'll tell you what, until Shane gets his internet issues resolved, I'll just go ahead. He is drinking the Founders KBS Espresso, 12%. So Michael and I have had this. We both really enjoyed it. I'm excited to hear what Shane has to think. So hopefully he can get his issues resolved there. Shane, if you need to hop out again, restart, do whatever you got to do, get it right. We'll be here, buddy. So just do whatever you got to do to try to resolve your internet issues. And I am drinking the honorary Girl Scout Samo Nut Cookie, which is from Pontoon Brewing out of Sandy Springs, Georgia. It is 6.3% alcohol, 29 IBUs. It has chocolate, caramel, toasted coconut, and lactose added to it. And Pontoon Brewing Company's been around for a little while now. They make excellent porters and stouts. I have not had a bad beer from them yet, so I'm very excited to drink this. Really quick, let's go to the chat. We have a lot of people watching this morning. We got Tyler Mansell. Cheers to you, Tyler. Thanks for tuning in. Jamie says, cheers, y'all. Cheers to you, Jamie. Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, guys. Jeremy,
good luck to the Chiefs later.
get in here. Yeah, go Chiefs. And you're more than welcome to join as always, buddy. You know where to find the link. We got Alan from the Eclectic Beard says, cheers. Cheers to you, Alan. We've also got Blake TV says, cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday. And Tyler Mansell says, wow, impressive offering, Jay. And we've got our very own Whiskey Scout in the chat says, good morning, folks. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining this morning. And we are going to go ahead, now that we've all given a brief description of what we're drinking, let's go ahead and dive into it. So we will go back around, starting with Michael Kormaroff and his Highland beer.
Now, if you're looking at this in the glass, very dark brown. You can see it's brown and not black, but it's very dark. And the head is kind of spongy looking and beige. Pretty good looking beer. I mean, the lacing is created on the top, very nice. And let me give it a smell. Well, the primary flavor that I'm getting is vanilla, which it says it has, so I guess that's not surprising. And you're getting some of the roasted malts as well in the nose. Let me give it a taste. Okay, it's very vanilla forward. The first taste you're getting is very heavy vanilla. Behind the vanilla, you're getting the dark roasted malts and the taste as well. And there might be some background coffee in there as well. There's some coffee, but it's in the background. It's not a primary flavor. This is very nice. I like this a lot. Medium bodied. I mean, for 6%, it tastes about what the ABV is. You know, you can tell that it's not a straight session, but it's a little bit more. There's a little bit more oomph in it, but it's you know, you can tell right off the bat that it's not an Imperial. It's more of just a straight stout. The lactose does make it mellow it out a little bit too, which, you know, makes it smooth and very drinkable.
What's the alcohol by volume again?
Straight 6.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 6.0. Okay.
I like this a lot. I'll mull it over and I'll have a number for you.
All right. Sounds pretty good. Like I said, I've had a lot of the Highland beers. They make pretty good stuff, in my opinion. Although I have not had the stout that you're drinking today, Michael. Let's bring Shane Fudge back in here. He's like,
yeah, it seems to be better now.
All right, yeah. Good deal.
Yeah, I think we're good now. It was glitching out real bad. All four of you guys were like going away and then coming back on and choppy. You know how that chop stuff like that. I hate that. So I had to shut it all down and start all over. And it seems to be better now. So maybe.
Okay, yeah, seems okay right now. We might be getting a little echo. I'm not sure. Does anybody hear an echo? Or is it just
No.
Okay, all right, we're good then. As long as y'all are good, I'm good. Okay, so let's go back to Robert the Whiskey Scout with his YETI Mexican chocolate.
Well, it poured with about a 1 finger dark head on it, like a milk chocolate head. It dissipated rather quick. This left a little bit of lacing, not much, just a little bit. Nose-wise, you get coffee, you get cinnamon, you get the dark roast. And there is a chocolate note to it. And we discussed this before we came on air because I went on the website and there was no chocolate. They didn't mention adding chocolate to it, but there is a definitive chocolate which comes from the roasted malts, like you said, John. But there is a good cinnamon. There's more spices there. It definitely has the spice. You can definitely get the spices on this. But cinnamon is the predominant one that hits your nose right off the bat. And it's got and I get this on a few of these beers, and it's a faint cola smell. Just like a flat cola, but it's there. It's just, it comes out in the background. Dig in and see what we get.
Cheers, Robert.
Cheers.
Definitely. It has that coffee chocolate mocha feeling note to it, taste-wise. And then it has, if you've ever had the Abuela hot chocolate, the Mexican hot chocolate you can get in the grocery store, that it comes like in a little wafer, and you melt that in milk and warm it up, and it makes hot chocolate. It has that flavor. You're getting that flavor, that sensation, because that has cinnamon mixed in it too. We have a lot of cinnamon here, a lot of good cinnamon notes, and it's not a sweet cinnamon. It's not like cinnamon toast or anything that's. It's. I mean, it's a little sweet, but it's more of a raw cinnamon note in there. It's really good. And I'm going to throw this out there too. A little clove is coming in. I don't know what spices they use, but I get just a touch of clove with this as well. I had baked beans last night, so we had cloves with baked beans. I don't think that's what when you make Boston baked beans, we always add a little bit of cloves to it. But definitely coming across here. There's other. I like this stuff. I like the spices in this. It is working well with everything going on here.
Robert, how's the alcohol?
9.5%. Nah, none. I don't get none at all. I got more alcohol in the KBS.
Wow.
That's good, guys. Better go to somebody else. Let me work longer.
Sounds like the only thing that might make that a little bit better is if they actually barrel aged it.
Yeah. Couldn't hurt it.
I don't know, that sounds really good, Robert. Yeah. And the fact that you're not getting any of that 9.5 is to me, that's an indication of quality right there. Okay. Let's go to Ronald Terrio with his long beer. There you go. The Irish Bayou Whiskey Barrel Aged Vanilla Almond Coffee Stout, 10%.
Okay, well, it doesn't have much head on it, but I've been sitting here listening, so it kind of died down. Let's see what happens here. No, didn't really build up much. Didn't have a whole lot to start with. It was tan. It's very dark brown. You can see it looks black. Looks like black, just black. Holding it up to the light, I don't really see any brown, but the sunlight is on the other side of the house. So if I had extreme sunlight shining through it, it might show a little red. Don't know. The aroma. It's funny though. This is a strange beer because it says drink fresh. We aged it for you. Well, if it's a 10% stout, why would you need to worry about drinking it fresh? Says malt beverage. So another flavored malt beverage from me. And it was canned on September 11th, 2019. The aroma is sort of dull. I can pick up a little bit of dark malt, a little bit of coffee and cream. Almond and vanilla. I wouldn't be talking about that if I didn't know it was printed on the can. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Taste. First thing I noticed when I did my solo review out in the backyard, and right now, it's got kind of a sharp little acrid note, like they had roasted the barley malt a little too long and it became burnt. So that might not really appeal to too many people. And then there's that Jameson Irish whiskey barrel kind of. If you drink Jameson, you might say, "Oh, a cat scratched me." You say, "That ain't a cat scratching you, that's Jameson." Oh. Now, yeah, there's a little cream. Vanilla. I guess that's theoretically true. I don't taste it, but it does say it on the can label. Let's see about almonds. Almonds. Oh, I can't. Oh, the almonds. Be nice if I could taste that, though. Well, the body's high medium and the finish is medium dry. That's nothing unusual. All right, so let's see. This is a big can. It's I said it was 500 milliliters. I want to retract that statement. You see how tall this can is. I'm drinking a 10% beer, and it's 19.2 ounces. Oh my goodness, 568 milliliters.
Oh, all right.
And since I'm drinking this much alcohol today, I want to say a few things. I got a few scores I want to settle on your channel. No, because I'm feeling a little brave right now. No, but honestly, I'm pretty disappointed in this because I'm thinking I paid $9.99 and it's going to be ultimate experience. And yeah, it's sort of like you thought you were going to go see an Academy Award winning movie like let's see, think of one. What's the one with the woman wore the tie? Remember, in the vest, she drove in the Volkswagen all crazy in Manhattan. Annie Hall. You thought you were going to see Annie Hall, but no, you got tricked because you watched Footloose. So anyway, not to say I'm saying Footloose is bad. Put on your dancing shoes, right? But anyway, it's good. But then that's not saying a whole lot, is it?
Right. Well, now you may have already mentioned this. What was the price?
$9.99 for this 19.2 ounce.
So I would say, based on your description, it's definitely not worth the price. And Shane,
I mean, if you go to a college basketball game and you pay for the price that would get you on the 5th row by the court, but you got stuck sitting up in the upper deck, you might feel cheated. You say, but you got to watch the game. You say, but hell, I could have watched the game with the price for the top row. Anyway, you get what I'm saying.
Is Shane still having issues?
Where is Shane?
Yeah, he hopefully will be back shortly.
He just said in the chat, I started glitching real bad again. I don't know what's going on. It is very frustrating.
Here's what I think.
Watch you guys.
Here's what I think. I've been noticing a lot of lag problems the last couple of days. I bet you Shane is also using Microsoft. I'm talking about as his main
browser.
Yeah, like not and I've been noticing a lot of lag, and I think Microsoft is sending out a bunch of updates. And when you start getting these updates, Katie barred the door because it could just destroy your connectivity. And I'm getting some weird feelings on this end too. So he's going to probably get a notice in a next 24 hours saying, do you want to, what do you call that? Do you want to update your system? Yeah, it's going out there. I just know when I get that feeling, when things start to act funny, I say, watch your updates coming.
Well, is he on his phone or on a computer? If he's on his phone, I've always had issues from.
No, I think he's on a laptop.
Okay.
That's usually what he's.
Yeah, phones are tricky. I don't care what the situation is. Phone is tricky. But if you're using a regular computer, laptop, or desktop, when they start sending those updates, watch out.
Well, hopefully he'll be back shortly. In the meantime, let's go to the chat really quick, and then I'll go ahead and break mine down. Alan says, 9 watching, only 5 likes. Some of y'all need to stop slacking. Hit the like button. Well, you said it, Alan, not me. 47 straight. Happy Super Stout Sunday. That's right. That's what I should have titled the stream because it is Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, don't use that term. That's a copyrighted term. Your channel will get deleted.
Right. We got Sut in the chat. We got Craig Swenson says, good morning to you, Sut. Jamie's asking what we're all drinking for the Super Bowl. I'm going to just go get maybe some Miller Genuine Draft. I think I might pick up a 12-pack of that. That way I could, something sessionable.
I'm drinking natural ice.
Natural ice is always a good choice. We got Blue Ribbons in the chat. Good Stout Sunday morning. Thanks for stopping by, Blue Ribbons. Happy Stout Sunday to you. Jeremy says, go Chiefs. He's a big Chiefs fan. Let's see. Jeremy's drinking some Corona Familiar. Can't drink too much. Got to work tomorrow. Drunken One is in the chat. Cheers to you, Drunken One. Ronald Sutton. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Right.
And Blue Ribbons is drinking PBR or Corona for the Super Bowl, maybe. And yeah, Shane is having issues. Hopefully he'll get those resolved so we can hear about his KBS Espresso. And yeah, Jeremy, I think you've got it there. Russian hackers don't want him to be able to show off his awesome beer. All right, and we've also got Jean-Pierre in the chat. Cheers to you, Jean. I saw that Ron posted some videos or a video, and I'm sure he's got more with you and David, the 3 of you guys doing some trio reviews when he came down to visit. So looking forward to checking that out. And John's prediction for the game is Chiefs win it 24-17.
Jay, before John starts, was the Dixie reopening exciting?
First of all, I had 3 videos posted already.
Okay.
I will watch them.
We did 3. Now my friend David, Johnny Neely knows this by personal experience. He was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're going to leave? We're just getting started. This is just the beginning. I said, no. I mean, he doesn't have a stop button. So he was just saying, now that we've had the appetizer, it's time for the meat and bones of it. I said, no. And Jean-Pierre was like, I just want to go to the bus station. So, David is like, we have to drink, and I was like, y'all did it. But then, of course, they had a lot of other extracurricular stuff after I left that was not recorded, unfortunately. Now, but we did 3. We did a 15% 13.0% Woot Stout from Stone.
I've had that,
which is awesome. From 2015, David had it in the museum for 5 years. Then David says, now that we got kind of prepped, not that they weren't getting prepped during the whole entire day, but that's another story. But anyway, so because we had been meeting up since, they got together at 7 in the morning. So anyway,
a warm up.
He went and picked Jean up at the Union Station at 7 in the morning, and I don't think they were drinking coffee and orange juice. Well, they might have been drinking orange juice with added added enthusiastic ingredients. But so then we went to the Dixie Brewery, but that was kind of disappointing because we got there and, you know, of course there was a line. There was the news out there, the news people and everything. And the weather was beautiful all day. But they said, I said, I'll go up to the counter and I said, well, we want to take a tour. And the lady looked at me and said, what do you mean? Now, think about that question. What do you mean? If I tell you I want to take a tour, what does that mean?
You
You want to take a tour.
That I want to work on the, you know, electrical system at the brewery, or do I want to, you know, sweep up? I said, what? I said, we want to take a tour. And I wasn't ugly about it. Just it caught me off guard. Like I didn't understand what she meant. She said, well, she said, all the tours are booked. I said, booked? Yeah, for the whole weekend. Oh, I was so crushed because that was the whole goal of the visit. So I told David and Jean, I said, forget it. The tours are booked. Oh, they were irate. I'm sorry.
So really, no, you're good. I just, since we've got Shane Fudge back, hopefully I don't want anything else to happen. So I want to go right into Shane Fudge with this KBS.
Man, my internet has really been sucking this morning. So excuse me, the in and outs. I finally just restarted the whole thing. Anyway,
yeah,
we'll try
to
give it a try. What?
Talk fast before you bug out.
No,
I haven't even gotten it
It
open
sounds
yet, so. All right. So I think all you guys have probably had the KBS espresso where they it's the KBS, and then after they take it out of the bourbon barrels, and they aged it on some coffee beans after that. So it's supposed to have more of a coffee note to it. I have had one of these out of the 4-pack a few days ago. I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, it smells so good. It's pouring out this black, nice head that forms there on a 12%er. Get the rest of this in there, man. It looks like chocolate milk pouring out with that, the color of that foam there. All right. So as you can see there, for a 12%er, it's producing a pretty nice head. Just black as it can be. I can see a little bit, and when I show it outside to the light, a little bit of light through the very bottom of the glass there. So get a nose on this. Get a lot of bourbon in this. Some chocolate. A little bit of the espresso bean bitterness maybe in there. Just a little bit. It's kind of hidden behind the bourbon and the chocolate for me. I'm getting some oak. Stands to reason. It makes sense since it's in an oak barrel. Yeah, a little bit of dark fruit, roasted malts. Real nice. I love KBS though, and I had very little of the CBS, like maybe one or two of those. I look forward to drinking this morning. Like I said, I've had one already a few days ago. Cheers.
Cheers, Shane.
So cheers, Shane.
Oh yeah. Well, the bourbon's not shy. It's not burning. I'm kind of, like I was a little bit used to the alcohol burn at this point. We're drinking barrel-aged beer, so it's not that big a burn. To someone that's not used to this, yeah, the burn might give them a little bit at 12% is showing up, but it's pretty smooth. It's really creamy mouthfeel. Yeah, it's really nice. I like the. I'm getting a little bit more of the coffee. I don't know if I would notice that on the blind challenge between the regular KBS and this espresso, but it seems as though there's a little bit of that. If you ever chewed on coffee beans or chocolate covered coffee beans, get a little bit of bitterness in there. And that's very nice, man. That's a really good beer. It's creamy. Real nice mouthfeel on this. And the head's staying around with it. That's a great beer, man. If you've not had this yet, you gotta try to find it. What's that?
Are they covering the 12% and the alcohol? Does the bitterness control the alcohol a little bit?
Does the bitterness control the alcohol? Yeah, I mean the alcohol, the 12% is hidden pretty well. You're drinking a 12%. There's just a slight bit of burn in it. Let it warm up some, it will probably dissipate. But man, yeah, I'm gonna have to find another 4-pack of this. I just happened to walk through. Wasn't even looking for it. Kind of had it in mind, hoping I would see it in Arkansas, and then walked through the store in Little Rock. There it was, next to the KBS from last year, and next to several bottles of Goose Island Bourbon County brand stout, and next to several 4-packs of Ozark BDCS. So y'all have heard me talk about that one in some videos in the past. But anyway, I picked up a 4-pack of this and 4-pack of the BDCS, and I'm gonna have to get a can of that out to some of you guys that haven't had that yet. It's an awesome stout too. But about this KBS espresso, I highly recommend it. If you can find it in your stores near you, pick it up and check it out. I think all of y'all have had this though, right? Here on the video.
Well, not all of us.
No way.
Who's not? I know.
I haven't had it yet.
Hearing they're going to get it, and they never do yet. I haven't. I keep asking though, but they keep
I've
saying
seen pictures of it on the internet. Which was nice.
So
Really
really
Ron,
quick,
you
I
haven't
don't
had it yet? I thought you had it.
I don't want to get too behind here because we've got a lot going on. So let me add Eric. We've got Eric joining, and he's going to tell us what he's got in just a second.
Nothing
Just
too.
a second. Let me go back to the chat really quick. We got a lot going on. Jeremy is also from Arkansas. He says he's never tried those, Shane. I think he's talking. Well, I guess he's talking about the KBS.
Go to Spring Hill and North Little Rock, Jeremy. All kinds of good barrel-aged stouts right there right now.
There you go, Jeremy. CBP's in the chat, says cheers to you. And I don't. He says, I wonder how many hogs they have to butcher to make 30 hams. He's got a 30-pack of hams.
A little levity for your Sunday morning.
Oh, Ronald Sutton, yes, of course.
Yeah, Alan, the KBS Espresso is good. So if you can get it, definitely check it out. And yeah, he says he's actually seen it in the store in Little Rock too. Should have bought some. Yeah, we've got, Sut says he wishes Hams would make a Canadian bacon stout.
Wow.
All right, that's pretty much it. We're caught up. Thanks to everybody for stopping by this morning. So we've got Eric joining us now, and I'm going to let them tell everybody what beer he is drinking this morning.
All right. We got the Over the Moon Milk Stout from Guinness in Baltimore.
Wow. Come on, Guinness. Get down to Louisiana. Get to Louisiana. Get to Louisiana, Guinness.
Yeah. Ooh, whoa. Yeah, Guinness. Come on. Yeah,
sorry,
Guinness glass. It's got the had a nice creamy head, and it still does. It was up to where the lacing was. And definitely dark mahogany, or like a dark red kind of a color. Just looks like your standard Guinness. They're calling this a milk stout or a English sweet sort of a style. And if anybody's ever had the Young's double chocolate stout, that's literally kind of what it smells like, with more of a roastier coffee in the background as well. So it's like that beer with the roasty coffee in the background. They're adding lactic sugar. What do they say here? Made with unfermentable lactose sugar, which give it a distinctive sweetness compared to a dry stout. And that is also the nose and the sweetness to it. Brown bread. It just smells like a clean milk stout. Cheers. No alcohol to speak of. It's low.
Cheers, Eric.
Yeah, I would hope not. 5.3.
It's the second can I've ever had. About a 6-pack over the weekend. It was 11 and change. It's pretty dry for what it is. I would say semi-dry. Definitely has a lactose sugar in there. Definitely is mixing well with like a semi-dark or semi-sweet baker-style chocolate. There is a medium to light towards the medium roasted coffee note to it. Very creamy, very chocolatey, pretty velvety smooth for what it is, even though it's not in a nitrogen tap. Crisp for the most part, yes. Clean for the most part, and yeah, this is pretty refreshing. If you guys have had the Young's Double Chocolate Stout, you've had Left Hand Milk Stout, you basically kind of have a feeling for what this is going to taste like mixed with a coffee. They're saying espresso. I don't think it's quite that roasty, but it's on the roastier side. So go and give this one a try. Beer Advocate gave it an 85. I could see going as high as a 89 on this bad boy. This is pretty good. I like it.
Okay, so wow, we got it all done there with the Guinness Over the Moon rating and everything. So 89.
Yeah, it's a really good beer. It reminds me of the first time I ever had the Young's Double Chocolate Stout, and that kind of changed my life because I've had the Guinness before that time, and I actually didn't realize you could get beers that had that kind of flavor profile to them. So that kind of made me, these styles of beers, and made me really interested in craft beer.
Hope Shane can come back and give us his score, but maybe he's drifted out.
I don't know. It sounds like he might be kind of giving up on it for now. He did leave a comment in the chat that says the glitching came back, then it dropped him off again. And he gave it a
99. I'll put him in for that.
That's pretty good.
Shane, you're more than welcome. You know, if you get it resolved, if you want to come back on and still give us a little bit more of a description with that rating, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we'll just Michael's got it down in his book. 99 out of
John, if I remember right, I think I gave it a 98, but certainly a 99 is not out of line.
No.
I think I gave it either a 98 or 99. I think I like the KBS, the standard KBS a little bit more because it's a little bit more balanced. But the coffee, like for coffee lovers, obviously the KBS Espresso would be one step even more into the extreme with the coffee. We've got Flacco in the chat. Cheers to you, Flacco. Happy Stout Sunday. And yeah, Jeremy's saying, wow, 99. Yeah, Jeremy, it's definitely worth picking up. And everybody, I mean, I know Jay hasn't tried it yet, and Robert, I don't think has tried it either, but it should make its way to your area at some point. The Founders generally has very good distribution. Some areas it just takes longer than others to get it. So eventually I would imagine that it would show up. Okay, so I'm the only person that has not gone yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before something else pops up here. So let's see. There you go. That's what I'm drinking. The honorary Girl Scout Salmon Nut Cookie, 6.3% alcohol, 29 IBUs from Pontoon Brewing out of Sandy Springs, Georgia. It poured very dark, almost black. The head was dark tan, bordering on beige. It died down very quickly, though. It was almost like a soda pop head. It very fizzy, and then it just died down almost immediately. The aroma, very nice, very malt forward. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. It does have chocolate, caramel, toasted coconut, and lactose added to it. So on the aroma, I'm definitely getting the coconut, the chocolate, maybe a touch of caramel as well. Definitely smells very sweet, very chocolatey, very roasty, and the coconut is a nice addition for me with any porter or stout, just because I love toasted coconut, and I think it complements the roasty character that you get from these types of beers very well. It smells very good, not picking up on any of the alcohol, which I wasn't really expecting to anyway at 6.3%. So it smells like a winner. Cheers, guys.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Yep.
Yeah. This is delightful. I have yet to be disappointed from Pontoon Brewing Company beer. They are known around here for their dark beers. So the first thing I'm actually getting is the coconut. It reminds me a lot of the Death by Coconut by Oscar Blues, except just a little bit lighter on the coconut because the Death by Coconut is really, really in your face. So very similar to that, just a little bit more subdued with the coconut. The chocolate's coming through very nicely. The alcohol is masked exceptionally well. A little bit of caramel sweetness, a lot of roasty, toasty notes in the middle of the sip, some dark toasted bread. The 29 IBUs are coming through a little bit on the finish, but it's not a bitter beer by any means. It's very malt forward. The bitterness that you get on the finish just balances it out a little bit and keeps it from being cloyingly sweet because, like I said, very, very sweet, very sugary. The lactose has a little extra sweetness as well as a creamy mouthfeel. So very creamy mouthfeel, very smooth and silky all the way through. Definitely not a dry finish, a creamy milk-like finish, I guess you could say. Very enjoyable beer. This is just another winner from Pontoon Brewing. If you like malt-forward porters, stouts, and you can get Pontoon Brewing beers in your area, I highly recommend that you check them out because they make some excellent stuff. This one is no exception. I'm really digging this beer. The body with this is heavy, though. You can only drink, even though it's 6.3, you might think you could drink 2 or 3 of these because a lot of their stuff is 9-10%. So this is actually on the lighter side ABV-wise, but it is a pretty thick, heavy mouthfeel. So after one of these, I'd be ready to move on to something else. So I'll keep sipping on it, come back around with a rating in a little bit, but I really, really like this beer as I do all of the Pontoon beers that I've had. So now it is time to go back around. And really quick, I just want to, because Shane was with us and he may be back, may not. He says the 12% cools off as it warms up. More coffee notes are coming out as it warms up too. A little bit more descriptor stuff from Shane with his KBS Espresso. Okay, and yeah, Jeremy is talking about, wait a second, what am I saying? I keep trying to click on a certain comment and people are commenting as I'm trying to click and it's scrolling down and I'm clicking on the wrong comment here. So I'm trying to show this one. Jeremy was talking about the Flacco and Bumpy. They did the examination on Bumpy's channel of the YETI Mexican chocolate. Yeah, it is true. And I think Robert.
I have not watched that, so that will not.
I have watched it, and I think that you seem to like it more than they did. Well, Bumpy's very strict with his ratings. He didn't like it as much as Flacco, and I think you probably like it more than Flacco based on the descriptions that you've given us so far. Anyway, all that being said, let's go back around for final thoughts and ratings, starting back with Michael Kormeroff and his Highland Summit Stout, Midnight Summit.
One of my first Highlands brew that I've had, I found it to be pretty good, even very good. I'm going to give it a 95.
Ooh.
So extremely good for what it was, and I'd like to try more of their beers, and I recommend it. And I would buy it. I got it as a gift from my nephew, but if I could find it, I would buy it.
That is a very good rating, solid A. Like I said, I've enjoyed all the Highland beers that I've had. They make quality products, and North Carolina is a hotspot for craft beer. If anybody out there didn't already know that, they have some great breweries up there, including Foothills, which is the brewery that I went to when I went up to visit William Kepley. We went to the brewery, and I got to try a lot of their beer, including the Sexual Chocolate, which, Michael, you also have some of that. So I'm excited to hear what you think about the Sexual Chocolate. They also have, I don't know if the one you have is barrel aged, but when I was at the brewery, they are starting a barrel aged program where they are aging a lot of their regular beers in barrels. And one of the ones that they were very excited about when I was at the brewery was the Foothills Sexual Chocolate. They're doing a barrel aged version of that. So
mine is a straight one. Mine is just a straight one.
I don't even think the barrel aged ones are ready. I mean, this was last March or April when I went with William, and they said that they were going to leave them in the barrels at least through the end of 2019. So maybe the Foothill Sexual Chocolate will be released. The barrel aged version will be released in the next month or so. But I thought that was pretty cool that they were aging the beer for they were planning on doing it for I think 8 months is what they were talking about in the bourbon barrels. So exciting stuff. All right, so 95 out of 100 for Michael Kormaroff. We've got to go back to Robert the Whiskey Scout with his YETI Mexican chocolate. What are you thinking, Robert?
A little summary. This is not an overly sweet beer. The spices it doesn't have that sweetness to kind of balance out the spices. I don't know if that's what Bumpy had issues with in this case. I'm going to watch the Bumpy and Fluff review after this, though. I'm going to give it a 95. I'm not going to go any higher than that because I think if it had just a touch more sweetness. But I understand where they're coming from too, because if you've ever had the abuelita, the little chocolates that I was telling you about, those are not overly sweet hot chocolate. It's not like drinking American or hot chocolate like you would normally get. It is a little bit more spice oriented. This being the same way, so it follows what it was intended to do. But yeah, I think 95 is a great score. And I like it. Yeah. But if you don't like a spicy, because you're not going to care for this, and that's just pretty simply put. It does have a little bit more spiciness than your average beer or stout would in this case. But yeah, I would get another one. I don't know though. $9.99 is.
That's what I was going to ask you next. 95 out of 100 is an excellent beer, obviously, but the price point being so high, yeah. Do you think it's worth the money?
No, I think they should knock about $4 off of it. That's just being honest, but for me, at $6.99 would be, or even $5.99 would be much better price for this product.
Right. Save the $9.99 price tag for the barrel aged version that we're all hoping that you come out with for that beer.
Right. That makes sense.
Is that you get in barrels, it takes that much time. You gotta raise the price because time is money, and you're storing it in barrels for that long. But when you just brew a standard beer like that, you're not wasting any time. It only takes a few days, a couple weeks to get the beer ready to bottle or can. You're not having to sit on it for so long like you are with the barrel aged stuff. So.
Well, and we also when they figure their pricing, how much do they have invested in the spices they've used? That's got to come into play because that's not something normally you're going to see on most beers. So I don't know how much the spices that they're using, quantity wise, versus what they're producing to still make a solid profit if it's overpriced. A lot of that stuff we don't see on our end of the consumer.
Now I doubt that they're using Mexican cinnamon, imported to the States. They're probably using great value cinnamon.
No.
Cinnamon sprinkles.
That's we don't know that though. So you can't.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
A final thought on this. As it warms up, the bitterness does show up a little bit more. So think of a slightly chocolate cinnamon snickerdoodle.
That sounds good, man.
Not too sweet a snickerdoodle though. Cookie, snickerdoodle cookie. Anyway, I'm done. I'll leave it.
All right. So 295s. Now we got to go back to Ron Ontario with his Irish Bayou whiskey, barrel aged vanilla almond coffee stout, 10% alcohol from Urban South Brewing, New Orleans.
It tastes good, but then so do a lot of other beers.
Throw the gauntlet down.
There's no lacing whatsoever. Look at that. No lacing. Nothing.
Another expensive beer, by the way. All the people out there in YouTube land. This was what, $9.99 for the can as well.
$9.99 for the 19.2 ounces, and that was the lower price. It originally came out at $11.99. I was like, I'll never pay that.
Try it again.
Yeah, and then 2 of the cans were damaged, and the manager tells me, "Oh, you should have told me something. I'd have sold you the dented cans for $5." I was like,
wow. Oh.
damage done already, you know. But anyway, well,
What do you say, Mr. Terrio?
I'm thinking.
Hmm.
I'm still thinking. When I did my solo review, I gave it an 84. But I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to give it an 85. It's good, but then, come on now. I paid $9.99 for a good beer. That's not working for me. Y'all might think
85, Jay,
I
is
don't
a
think you
solid
would.
B.
Huh?
Is that a solid B for you at 85?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. But a lot of money for a solid B beer to spend $10.
Right.
Yes, sir.
As soon as I tasted it sitting out in the yard, as soon as I tasted it, I said to myself in my mind, see, in my videos, I'll keep things under wraps. But in my mind, I said, uh-oh. But I didn't say anything. People can always tell by my expression, though. I could read it on your face. I was like, oh, that's my one weakness, you know. Anyway, if you want to pay $9.99 for a B beer, go ahead. But I mean, you know what my attitude is about it.
Right. Yeah. The price is very important a lot of times.
Yeah,
when
I
it comes
mean, that goes back to this morning. I did a whiskey taste challenge that was totally shocking. And goes back to the price point situation. So I was stunned. Right. I was stunned with this, and I was rather shocked with what happened this morning. So I've been a little shell shocked today. Yeah.
All right. Well, really quick, if anybody missed it earlier, since Eric did his kind of all-in-one, he's drinking the Guinness Over the Moon Milk Stout, 5.3%, and he gave it an 89 out of 100, correct?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that, and I'm pretty happy with the stuff that's coming out of Baltimore. I feel even the yeast, I'm feeling at least it's very reminiscent in its base flavors to a Guinness. Even the extra stout and the draft. So 89, nothing too earth-shattering, but a very great representation of a milk/English sweet stout. Cheers.
Okay. And hopefully it will make its way to Georgia soon. I'd really like to try it. I've enjoyed all the Guinness beer, even the regular, 4.2, the standard Guinness, I think is a very well-made stout. Yep. Of course, for my money, I like the 4 and extra stout.
Yeah, that one's good.
2.5%.
It's got the lactose sugar, and then the thing that I wanted to mention because I just thought of it was that definitely it has the if you drink like a glass of milk or whatever, it has that milky kind of a body to it as well. It's not just a gimmick with the lactose sugar. It does have that kind of a watery body towards the end, but it makes it really drinkable. Yeah.
But Eric.
Yes, sir.
What's your price point on that?
That was I'm trying to remember the exact price. I think it maybe was $11.39 for a 6-pack. Yeah.
A 6-pack? Well, that's okay. All right.
Yeah. Not
too terrible bad. I mean, yeah.
I don't know what their kind of distribution or their output is of beers in Baltimore, but so far I'd say it's so good with their facility. We can't complain with that taste.
Okay. And since our good buddy Shane is no longer with us because of technical difficulties, I'll remind everybody who may not have caught it in the chat, he gave his Founders KBS Espresso a 99 out of 100. So far we've got 2 A's, 2 B, or 3 A's, 3 B, or 2 B's, 3 A's, 2 B's, and now I've got to give my rating. But before I do that, really quickly, I want to make sure that we're caught up in the chat here. Alan was talking about the bourbon barrel aging. I was talking about Foothills. 8 months is a good amount of time for aging a beer in barrels. Most companies only do it for a couple months, 4 months to 6 months at most. 8 months is getting up there. And then, of course, like your really expensive stuff, your top of the line, like Bourbon County, sometimes they age their stuff upwards of a year in the barrels.
Yeah, 6 months, I think, is average.
Yeah. Jeremy's talking about spice and beer is good. Most of most of the time, unless it's Old Spice flavor.
Ooh.
That wouldn't be a good beer.
Blue Ribbons, add a little bourbon to your stout, and voila, you've got barrel aged. That's
So heard of.
Ontario has actually been doing that a lot, not just with stouts, with everything. So
What
Oh,
is-
you talking about the infusions? You talking about the infusions?
Yeah.
The infusions, which if anybody's interested in that type of stuff, which I definitely am, go check out Louisiana Beer Reviews and watch some of his bourbon and scotch infusion videos. Very interesting stuff. If you're looking for a good laugh and for an idea of whether or not something like blended scotch or bourbon is actually good in some of these cheaper beers, as well as some of the better stuff. But it's very interesting the cheap macro beers, how some of them interact with these different whiskeys. I think anyway.
Yeah, and I did a rum last week. Rum.
A rum infusion. Yeah, that's cool.
What does
Okay.
Anheuser-Busch say? Don't let the smooth taste fool you, John. Watch out with
Yeah.
those Boilermakers.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you, King Cobra.
John's having Ginny Light now. He needs to get more for the game.
Probably cheaper.
Sut says he's going to be killing cans of Ham's beer. Race to the finish. Okay, some comments I will not read.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. I'll read this one from Carnal Floors. This one's not completely inappropriate. He's gonna let that ride. All right. Tyler Mansell says this is the part where I make you hungry as I'm making a homemade pizza with wild caught blue crab claw meat on it with Stella.
Woo! Yeah.
Nice, Tyler.
Pacific.
I have not had this one, Sanctus 7, but he says Mackeson is his favorite stout. Great ABV and balanced flavor between sweet and bitter. I've never had Mackeson. I'm sure Ron, have you had Mackeson?
I did do a solo review of Mackeson Stout. Yeah, from the Caribbean islands.
Oh.
Caribbean islands. All right.
I can't remember which island. I think it was Tobago, but I'm not sure.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, but I think it was actually literally Tobago.
All right.
You know, there's two islands, so you got to pick which
You
one.
love stout down there somehow. Yeah.
They do. It's really hot, but they drink all these Imperial stouts. Okay. I get it, but all right.
Hey,
Hey,
stouts are, temperature is, I guess if you're sitting out in the sun, you might want something a little bit lighter, but people forget that we live in the 21st century and there's such a thing called air conditioning. So if you're inside drinking,
Yeah, but
really
it's been going on since the 1920s. And you go down to the Bahamas and you're like, what do you drink for a lawnmower beer? And they say, oh man, when I finish cutting my grass, I drink a dragon stout. I'm like, what?
Michael.
the Dragon Stout, which I still have not had. Michael Kormaroff says good things about the Dragon Stout.
Great beer. It's a great beer.
I think some of the Caribbean stouts are actually decent. I don't think they're great, but I think they're decent and should be something you should use in comparison to the other stouts that are on the market. But I like the Dragon; those are very good.
Hey, John,
Okay.
I'm cooking, so I got to go take care of some.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Have some
That
food
brings me
preparation.
back. That brings me back to myself. I still don't think I've actually given my rating, so I will do that right now. And of course, once again, I'm drinking from Pontoon Brewing Company. This is the honorary Girl Scout Salmon Nut Cookie, 6.3% alcohol, 29 IBUs. So very roasty, toasty, nice and coconutty. Get the nice toasted coconut flavor with the creamy mouthfeel from the lactose and of course the caramel sweetness. Adds a nice little touch as well. I love this beer. It's another winner. I'm giving it a 96 out of 100. It is a solid A, getting up there, guys. Excellent stuff from Pontoon Brewing. And Roberts had some Pontoon Brewing because that's one of the ones. The Fluffier Otter was Pontoon Brewing.
Shit.
As well as some of the other ones I think that I sent you. I don't think anybody else had Pontoon. But
That's one of
good
my
stuff.
favorite beers. If you consider.
I get it again. The next time I find it, I will send you some more. But it sells it goes like crazy here. People can't
I can see why.
get enough of it.
Ziggy Zaggy.
But you're like me too, John. We like coconut, and coconut and beer works well together. So.
Yeah, so you would love this one, Robert, because it's very coconut forward as well, but it's balanced. It's not over the top. Like the Death by Coconut, Michael Kormoff and I were talking about this. He thought the coconut tasted a little bit artificial and was a little too overpowering in it, although I implored him to try it again because he might change his opinion.
Over the moon.
But I really like that one as well. That one, yeah, that's one of the best stouts I think on the market.
Ronald Sutton says that Jay's warming up some Vienna sausage.
And then Jeremy says he's got a cooking show.
Question for Jay if he comes back, but maybe Eric can answer it.
Maybe.
What's the theme for this Wednesday, which is not wild?
Oh, he said it was going to be the beers of Carnival. You know, they got Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras, a beer that you would drink during that season. Isn't that difficult for people up north? Yes.
Well, let me tell you this. Honestly, that's a pretty open-ended. You could drink anything you want for Carnival season.
Wow, Wednesday. Let's do it.
So I don't think it's, you know, what some people drink for Carnival. Now, obviously, they have like a Beta, which is popular down, obviously, in Louisiana where Ron is. They have some Carnival-specific beers. But I think in general, and Ron is back now, so maybe Ron can elaborate a little bit more.
Because up north, we don't get Carnival beers.
First of all, it was bratwurst sausage.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Ron's kitchen is just right through that door, so he can hear everything everybody's saying.
And if you have a problem with bratwurst, then you know, no big deal. No big deal. Everybody's not a real man. But
Jerry.
no hostility there. You know, I'm cool with it. But
That's for Switzerland.
Yes.
But, not to say that Vienna is not a great city, although I've not been there. Yeah, we have some Carnival-related beers, like, for instance, Mardi Gras Bock from Abita. Been on the market for years. So this Wednesday, February 5th, the first Wednesday of the month, we're going to do Carnival beers. What beer would you drink for Carnival? Well, of course, I'm going to drink Abita Mardi Gras Bock, right? We're in Mardi Gras season. We got parades coming up.
That's fine.
I don't know what y'all going to bring because it's really not applicable to anywhere else. So it's kind of hard.
So does it become like a backup wild card for us? We should get as close to Louisiana style as we can.
No, it's wild card. It's not wild card Wednesday. It's
no, I know it's not.
Beer would you drink that is related to Carnival?
Okay.
Now,
Which could technically be just about anything.
Find a funnel cake stout. You're going to be
I
good.
think most people in New Orleans, when they go to Carnival, they're not drinking a beat of Mardi Gras Bock at the parades. They're drinking Bud Light, you know. So you got to
Bring a Bud Light, Michael. That would be.
I can tell you, Bud
when
Light.
you go walk around the parade route, just take a survey of the parade route. What cans do you see that are thrown aside? You know, I don't think you're seeing too much of a Mardi Gras Bock, but I bet you'll see a lot of Bud Light. What?
Bush Light, Bud Light, Bush.
Yeah, not
I won't be drinking it.
definitely.
I might bring a 40 ounce. I might just bring a 40-ounce glass bottle of King Cobra. I mean, that's Carnival Beer 101 right there.
Yeah, 40 ounce might get you picked up.
Literally.
If it's glass, you see, because the New Orleans Police Department has a real problem with glass bottles because you're at the parade and people will smash the glass bottle and then use the end as a weapon. So glass is a problem. You know, using glass, you know, walking the parade route with glass might get you picked up. And see, they got you because it's illegal to drink alcohol openly in the streets of New Orleans.
Carnival.
But as John and Neely found out, that's not actually enforced.
No.
But they can enforce it if they want to enforce it, right? But if you got
I guess they could. Yeah.
If they enforce that, Carnival attendance would drop dramatically.
Yeah, but you have to use some discernment. If you have a can, an aluminum can, or a plastic 42-ounce bottle, no one's going to tell you anything. I mean, you know, come on. So use your imagination, and I think Wednesday night could turn out pretty interesting, you know.
Absolutely.
I'll find something.
What?
So
I'll find something.
Yeah. Think of a parade Think of New Orleans. Think of
I'll have some theme thoughts, and I'll have something. I'll be there.
good.
All right. So anybody have any final comments? We've been going just over the hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Anything? Any final thoughts? Anything? Super Bowl predictions?
I have a
49ers. Why not?
My final thought is that I think Kansas City is going to lose 20-24.
Ooh.
San Francisco is going to get 24 points. Kansas City is going to get 20. So sorry, Kansas City people, but you'll get there.
Sorry, Jeremy.
27. The year 2070 ain't that far away.
Oh
I
crap!
just want it to be a competitive game, not like last year. I want it to be, some scoring and competitive.
Well, sorry for that. No, I meant no, I'm not.
And another thought I have is that if you pay $9.99, you don't always get $9.99 product.
That's
Don't
true.
always get what you wanted.
And Eric, are you disappointed that the New England Patriots are not there this year, or you're over that?
I'm more disappointed about how bad they were throughout the entire season. They couldn't hold their own in big giant games. They got to figure that one out big time. Yep.
Yeah, but interestingly, they had the best rated defense in the whole
Yeah, I mean that's they could have done something with what they had.
Did you say Kansas City
Headlights,
to
they
the Texans? That's
didn't know
what
what to do and what move to make next.
What?
did you predict that they would lose to the Texans in the lead-up game? That's what Jeremy.
No,
no,
but if they were going to lose to any team, it would have been them.
I would have, without any kind of discretion, ridiculed anyone who would have said that, and I'd have been ugly about it. But then later I'd have had to crawl into a hole and hide my tail because I never would have dreamed. I never would have dreamed that. No, I could have never imagined something like that would have happened. No.
We got to see Watt on Saturday Night Live last night because they weren't in the Super Bowl.
I mean, they beat the Baltimore Ravens. That's got to mean that had to have meant something. Come on, right there.
All right.
It's a very shocking NFL season. I'll say that. It's been a very interesting NFL season.
It's been very good, yeah.
See how it ends tonight. Yeah.
John,
I
you
went to a college basketball game yesterday, by the way.
What's that, Michael?
You can close it out if you want. I think we're pretty fit.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take this off air. Thanks to everybody for joining. We had a great panel today. Thanks to Shane Fudge as well, who was with us for some of the time. He was able to give us his rating and post everything. So I think it worked out pretty well. So thanks, Michael, Shane Fudge, Whiskey Scout, Eric, and Ron Ontario for joining. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We had a huge chat today. I did my best to keep up, but you guys are great. We wouldn't be here without you. So thanks to everybody for joining. Hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. And until next time,
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Good Super Bowl viewing.
Yeah.